Here are 10 tips that you need to know to film the best soccer videos that you possibly can. In this video, you're going to come into the field with me, a professional sports videographer with over 8 years experience, and I'm going to give you 10 tips in real time on how to film great soccer videos from pregame throughout the entire match and all the way through to the moment you leave the stadium. If you want to film soccer videos the best that you possibly can at a professional level, then don't click away. This is the video for you. Yeah, we're filming a soccer game between two teams, Toronto and Vancouver, from this new women's soccer league that started up in Canada. They got me doing a few games for them over the course of the season, like during this summer. And so I figured this is a good one where I can take you out and just talk to you about like some of the tips that I've been using to film soccer games effectively, whether I'm doing it for this new women's league or for the Canadian national team, so that you can go and like film soccer wherever you do it to like the best degree that you can and get like really cinematic footage that's like really cool and usable and like have fun with it, while just like, you know, not breaking the bank and just like not struggling as much while you like go through the ropes and learn the basics. So we're driving to the game right now. I've got about a 25-minute drive left and I'll be arriving ideally like 2 to 2.5 hours before kickoff, and that'll give me plenty of time to get set up and shoot all of my pregame scenics and like film the stadium empty and film fans walking in and all that type of stuff you want to do before you start filming a sports game.
Platform.
So we're here nice and early. We're ready to get some pregame shots. We got here before the stadium is full. It was a bit of a fight to get here because there's a big fair happening today around the stadium, which will bring in more fans, but also made it tough to get here. But yeah, first tips to filming a soccer game: get there early and film those stadium scenic shots. We're gonna do that right now. While I'm filming pregame shots, and any footage for that matter, I'm always checking my shot list to make sure that I'm capturing everything that the client asked for. And if you aren't given a shot list for a job, then it's always important to sit down before you go to a game and make a shot list yourself so that you can make sure that you're capturing all the footage that you're supposed to get. Once I'm done filming establishing shots and have everything on my client's shot list, I make sure both my cameras are set up and turn my focus to filming pregame entrances and warm-ups. For warm-ups, I decided to start filming with my wide-angle gimbal setup and then get some shots on my telephoto setup so that all of my footage didn't look the same from that period of the game. But then I grabbed my gimbal and the wide-angle lens to film player entrances and get those really important hero shots to set the scene for the game. I started filming the player's entrance line head on. I partially got blocked by a broadcast camera but still managed to get one shot, then turned to follow one of the last players in the line from behind. Once the players were lined up for the national anthem, I ran out to them and lined up my first shot. This shot was a push-in on a key player from a 45-degree angle, which I framed quite well, but I didn't realize that the sun was in behind, blowing out the stands. In spite of this, I don't think the shot came out too poorly. My next shot was a dolly across the line of players for the visiting team. This is a great shot to capture to get as many faces as possible in a short period of time. The third shot was another push-in on a key player, but this time from straight on. It's still a bit hot in the background, but not as bad, and I love how the subject of this shot looks. Next, I moved my focus to the home team. I closed my aperture a bit to help my exposure and found their captain. My fourth shot was a push-in upward at her face from a 45-degree angle. I used eye-tracking autofocus to make sure she stayed in focus and loved the result. This is my favorite shot from the pregame. Finally, I get ready for fireworks to go off, so I turn to film down the line of players and capture the captain on the left side of the frame with the fireworks going off on the right as the anthem concludes. Once the national anthem was over, I double checked my settings and then headed to the visiting team bench to capture a couple shots of their pregame huddle. Once I had a shot from above and a shot from a lower angle with heads in the foreground, I went back to my main camera to capture the opening kickoff.
Don't be afraid to take a couple of risks. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to go right for the player during the anthem. And look, you don't want to obviously step over clear guidelines, but like, I thought I was able to go. I grabbed my gimbal and went and got a couple of good shots. So like, just kind of like take calculated risks. And that goes for soccer and most other sports as well.
I like to film a locked off shot for kickoff, so I actually got this shot wide on my gimbal in case we need an atmospheric scene setting shot and a tight shot on my tripod with a telephoto lens where I framed in as many fans as possible and tried to avoid empty seats. They're both different shots, and which one the client needs to use is up to them, but now there are two different shots to show the very important start of the game.
Now today I'm shooting on two cameras. I got the FX30 with the Sony 100-400 built out with a V-mount battery and a monitor. And I'll bring my whole rig below, but this is the main camera. And then my secondary camera is over here. This is the Sony 874, the Tamron 28-75, or the DJI Ronin S. And it's lovely to have two cameras because it gives you the option to film tight stuff and wide stuff without needing to deal with lens swaps or tedious equipment. You just grab a camera and go. So I was able to film pregame stuff on the gimbal and quickly run back and swap sides and film game action on this tighter camera without much delay, which is really helpful when you're filming a sport like soccer to be able to switch lenses on the go and worry less about your gear and more about the action. Now, when I want to shoot close-ups while I'm filming soccer, I'll switch my camera to 120 frames per second, and then I turn HDMI info display off, so now I can see my image on both screens. I'll use this screen to use eye tracking autofocus, so I can actually like touch a player's eye when I zoom in. And then I can track them and get a nice shot like this. When you're filming soccer is to bring a full-size tripod like this one I have right here. A lot of the times you get stuck in front of these video boards when you're filming, and you need to have something that can get your camera over top of the video board without hurting your shoulders and your back through the entire game. So having a full-size tripod with a stool when you're filming video for soccer is like essential, because if you can't get in front of these video boards and you're not allowed, then like without a full-size tripod, your body's gonna be really hurting after a bit, and you might not be able to get all the shots you want to get. The one thing I like doing a lot when I'm filming soccer is at halftime, I'll usually switch my white balance. A lot of games start before sunset, and the sun sets during the half. So in the first half, I'll start filming before sunset at 5600 Kelvin. And then at halftime, while the sun is setting, I'll usually switch my white balance to somewhere around 4800 Kelvin. And this gives me a pretty decent white balance in the first half and the second half. So nothing is more than a couple hundred Kelvin off, and my white balance is pretty good throughout the entire game, even as lighting conditions change. Now, I didn't film the greatest goal shot ever, but something that's good to do after you do film a goal, even if it's not your best, is change positions. So I just filmed a goal from this spot right here. Now I'm gonna go walk over there and get a new angle so that if there's a second goal, I can have a different look. And when you cut those shots together in an edit, it doesn't look boring or repetitive. So let's get going.
Now here's where having a lot of equipment to film soccer can sometimes be less than ideal. After the goal, as I was changing positions, the client asked me if instead of filming the goal scoring team whose side I was planning on staying on, if I could go film the other team, which is a perfectly reasonable request. But I had 2 cameras, a gimbal, a tripod, and a stool to bring over, and it couldn't all happen in one trip. So I had to pick up my tripod and walk the entire length of a soccer field, walk all the way back, grab the gimbal and the stool, and then walk everything back, all while play is happening. And I was very fortunate to not miss an important moment during this time because the home team actually hit the post, and all I had in my hand was a gimbal, which would have given me a wide shot of the goal, but not really the ideal shot that you're looking for a big goal scoring chance. It's important to assess your situation when you're going to a soccer game, and if you have help or if you have control over where you're positioning yourself the whole time, then bring more gear. But if you need to be more adaptable, then bringing a bunch of equipment and being able to get a variety of shots may not be worth the trade-off of not being as flexible with your positioning and what types of shots you can capture.
Now, the last tip that I have for you for filming soccer is have a plan for post-game. I was there waiting for Vancouver's reaction to winning the game. In the last 10-15 minutes of that game, Toronto was like really pressing, trying to score a goal because Vancouver was winning 1-0, and they weren't able to do it. So I knew that there was going to be a lot of relief on the Vancouver side when they managed to squeak out that win. And so those last couple of minutes, like I was filming Toronto in case they scored, but I was ready and knew that my plan, if the results stayed the same, was focus on Vancouver, shoot them on the long lens so I can get the immediate reaction of them winning without needing to run across the field. And once I get that immediate relief that they show, then grab the gimbal, run up to them, film any reactions I can get while I'm up close, and film their team huddle at the end. They're the away team, so they wouldn't have too many fans there, but if they do a walk around to like congratulate some fans or salute some fans, then capture that. And the plan worked pretty well. Basically, everything that I just said is what happened, so it was pretty good. And having a plan allowed me to pick the right camera to start on to shoot that reaction and get it rather than panic and, I don't know, maybe grab the gimbal and try to run across the field right at the end of the game, but not get that initial reaction where the emotions are at their highest. And so having a plan just allowed me to capture the emotions that I needed to capture to tell the story of this game and that the league is going to need from me, for me to do my job correctly, basically. Now, another tip I freaking should give for filming soccer is buy a wagon, because if you're going to run 2 cameras and you're going to use a big tripod and a big lens, you can't carry it all. It's heavy. Thank God I had that wagon today. And thank God I have this car to drive it all home.
That was a behind the scenes look at exactly how I go about filming a soccer game or football, depending on where you're from, and 10 tips that I always use when I'm filming the sport. If you have any other tips that you would add that maybe I didn't mention or anything like that, drop them down in the comment section, because I'm sure that it would help everybody watching this video. And I'd personally be curious myself to see what other really good sports videographers are doing to make their videos as good as possible. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, because I post videography and video editing tips and tutorial videos similar to this one on a regular basis. I would love to have you around for them. If you have any video ideas, you can feel free to comment those as well. I always end down to chat down there. If you liked the way I edited my videos, I have like transitions and LUTs and all that type of stuff on my website. That's linked down in the description. But that's all I got for you today. So until next time, peace.